Hey everybody, this is Gordicus with a new Let's Play series for Doppelgamer. And in this Let's Play series, we're going to be playing Crusader Kings II, one of my favorite games of the last few years. And if you're not familiar with this game, it's really awesome. Basically, it's about building a dynasty from your family and expanding your territory and going down in the history books, basically, with your family, and stuff like that. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start, and if you're new to the series, just watch and enjoy the series, and you will learn, basically, how to play and everything. I'm gonna be playing a pretty standard starting position in this game. As a count in Ireland in the High Middle Ages, which is one of the recommended starting spots for a new player to the game, just because you start small and then can slowly build up over time to a larger domain, and it's not as complicated at the beginning if you're don't have too many things on your plate all at once. So what I'm going to do is go to Custom Game Setup. And I'm going to click on the place that I want to start as, which is Dublin here. That will be my character. You can go customize your character and their looks and their stats and everything, but that's not too important to me. So, should mention I'm running most of the DLC except for one, which I think is the Sunset Invasion. I'm not going to be running that one in this Let's Play. So let's just go ahead and start. Okay, and now the game is real time, but it starts off paused, and you can pause it at any time, which you will do pretty frequently. So first things first, we'll go to this little icon here, Diplomatic Relations. So that shows us in green and our allies in blue. So we actually have an ally here that owns this county, and it's actually our father, the Earl of Ligan, and you can tell he's part of our family, or dynasty, because of this teardrop icon here. If you highlight it, it will say he's a close member, father of our dynasty. So that's cool. And any other territories are not allied with us. So we're gonna click on our portrait here just to check out our family and everything. Our stats here are diplomacy 6. Martial 4, stewardship is 5, intrigue 1, learning 6. Those are all quite low stats, not very impressive at all. But that's not too important at this point. We're married. Our wife's name is Tail2 of Dublin. She's 40 years old. We are 41 years old, and we have 3 children, all sons. Our eldest son, Dominal, is our heir. And we have 2 other sons, a 14-year-old Enna and an 11-year-old Donchad. And it looks like we have a brother as well, a brother Enna, who's 34 years old and is not married, but does have a nephew, or a son. So our nephew, Dearmate, is 11 years old. Okay. Now, how this game works is that the game doesn't end when your character dies. In fact, what happens in that case is any lands that you have are given to your children, basically, depending on what the inheritance laws are at the time of your death. And you can change those laws under certain circumstances. Right now, if you go to the Laws tab here, you'll see this here, Agnatic, Cognatic, Gavelkind, which is a very common inheritance law structure back in the day. In 1066, at least in this part of the world. What that means is that men inherit their father's titles, and so do women, but only if there isn't an eligible male to do so. So if you had 3 sons and a daughter, for example, the daughter wouldn't get anything. But if you had only 1 daughter, or any number of daughters but no sons, then your eldest daughter would inherit. And Gavelkind, what that means is if you have more than 1 title and more than 1 child, your titles are split up and divided between your children upon your death. but still females won't inherit unless there aren't any eligible males. You can change the laws in the, like, if you want. If I wanted to, I could actually change it right now to like primogeniture, meaning the eldest son inherits everything. But I'm not going to do that quite yet because that upsets people, and there's no reason to, because my eldest son is going to inherit my title anyway, just because I only have one. Now, if we grow our domain and have multiple counties or duchies, we may want to reconsider that in the future. Because under Gavelkind, it's very difficult to grow a huge empire and keep it, from one ruler to the next, because it'll split up between your children and be harder to reform the whole empire or kingdom. Okay, so what we have now is 2 icons up here. The icons that come up here throughout the game are important notifications. This one here says unmarried heir. That means our son is not married, and he should get married so he can start having his own children. And pick an ambition. We'll do that right now. So ambitions in this game basically are little objectives, and once you complete each one, you get a little bit of a bonus. For example, you could amass wealth, become a paragon of virtue, have a daughter. Now, our wife's kind of old already. She's 40, so it's probably unlikely we'd actually have any more children, but not impossible. Become the King of Ireland. That's a little ambitious for now, don't you think? And you can also choose to improve any of your stats that are less than 8, which in this case, all of our stats are less than 8, because he sucks. But we're going to, I think, go with improved stewardship. You'll see here it says success condition, stewardship at least 8. So once our stewardship, which is now 5, increases to at least 8, we will get the success effect, which is gain 100 prestige. And this will also give us opportunities throughout the game to improve our stewardship. Having a good stewardship score is important because it allows you to control extra territories without any penalties, and also increases the amount of tax revenue that you get from your vassals. Okay, speaking of vassals, if you click on the territory here, you'll notice this is like the main thing. This is the county, the capital here. But we also have 2 more territories here. We have a bishopric and a city. And that means we have the vassals of those territories here. Mayor Dunade is the mayor of the city, and then Bishop Nuadu is the bishop of the bishopric. You'll see these numbers here by the bishops, like this 97. It's his opinion of Alexander II, who's the Pope, the Catholic Pope at the time. And opinion of Liege, that's us, is 96. So he likes the Pope more than he likes us. You'll notice the 0.0 in red here. That's how much tax revenue we're getting from this bishop. It says yearly income 20.8. We could be getting that, but he's paying it to Pope Alexander II because he likes the Pope better than us. So we want to improve his opinion of us, which is something we're certainly going to try to do. It'll say here we have allies, which obviously is our father. And another thing with this particular start, our father has a county, the county of Ligon, right here, this blue one. Upon his death, since we're his eldest son, we will actually inherit this county. And he's 71 years of age, so it will likely not be too long before we do inherit that, which gives us a little bit of a boost to our manpower and income and everything, which is pretty good for a starting character. Otherwise, it would take forever to get anything rolling. So, unmarried heir. Let's take care of this, too. Dominal. His stats are pretty mediocre as well. He likes us quite a bit, so that's good. You'll see there's a -10 penalty for Gavelkind succession because he doesn't want to share my titles if I get any more. He wants them all for himself. But, I mean, that doesn't really affect too much because he still likes us a lot with 80 right now. So what we're going to do is try to find him a wife. Someone that will be, a good wife, but also good to have in our family to make strong, healthy babies, since she's going to become part of our dynasty and all her offspring as well. So, We're going to go to search all, searching for women, not in prison, not married already, not a ruler. Well, really, that doesn't matter. Any. My religion. If they're not the same religion as you, it's very unlikely that they'll agree to marry you. And my culture doesn't really matter too much. Adult, yeah, well, we want them to get married right away, not have to wait. And 16 is the age of majority, or the age of adulthood in this game. And great house doesn't really matter. If you marry someone from a great house, you will get more prestige. Just like if you marry someone of a higher rank, you'll get more prestige. But it's not too important when you're first starting out, in my opinion. And we don't want him to marry someone like this 77-year-old. It's unlikely she'll have any children. So probably, obviously, it's impossible. But let's look for. What I like to do is actually look for women with specific traits. Especially genetic traits. There's a few different genetic traits that actually can be passed down to their offspring. Not guaranteed, but there is a chance. The best of which is genius. And look at that. We have 4 geniuses. All of them are 16 years old. And wow, this Laura, Courtier, and Dax has amazing stats. And she's a genius, and she's a Grey Eminence, which gives her a fertility bonus, and makes the fact that she has this Grey Eminence would make her a great guardian for other children to learn from. So we are going to jump right on that and ask her liege, the Count of Dax. Where's Dax? It is in France, apparently. Very, very bottom tip of France there. We will ask her in French. No. In whichever language we both understand. Arranged marriage, my son, your daughter, Laura. And see, it says yes. That means the Count, he will agree to this proposal. Now it says here, as the relative of an earl, Dominal would gain 0 prestige for marrying into House Lowborn, because she's a lowborn female, and negative 100 for marrying a courtier, because we're noble, right? We own land, a county. So if our son marries someone that doesn't or isn't noble, then he will lose prestige. But 100 isn't that big of a deal, and she more than makes up for that. So we're going to send that off right away. And our son is hopefully going to have some genius babies. Okay. So this will go away once they get married. It takes some time for the communication in the game because, you know, like back in the day, you'd have to send letters and wait for the letters to come back. So it's pretty realistic in that regard. We're not going to unpause yet because there's one more thing we'd like to do, and that's check out our council. Now, the council is basically 5 people that you have that are your loyal subjects, and they will perform special actions depending on what role they are, and how good they are at those actions all depends on the primary characteristic. For example, the Chancellor's main stat is diplomacy, the Marshal's is martial, the Steward's is stewardship, the Spy Master's is intrigue, and the Court Chaplain is learning. Okay, so we'll first see if there's anyone better. There isn't. Chancellor, we're actually going to leave till last, because I'm going to have to explain some other things before we do that. But Marshal, what we're going to do with the Marshal, actually we're going to switch back to diplomatic relations. And we could suppress revolts, which decreases revolt risk and improves arrest chance to arrest criminals and such in the territory. But there aren't any right now anyway. Train troops increases our levy size and our levy reinforcement rate, and also gives us a boost to possibly getting even more reinforcements each year. So we're gonna send him to train troops. We could also research military tech, which increases the rate at which we get new military technology points. But training troops is quite important. Our steward right now is our son, Dominal, and we can have him collect taxes, which increases our tax revenue, but also has a chance to collect a special tithe, which is extra money each year, but a quite significant chance of peasants attacking our steward and possibly killing him, which we don't really want our son to be murdered. So is there anyone, see, if there was someone a little worse than him, I'd consider making them our steward and sending them to collect taxes, but oversee construction decreases the time in which it is required to build buildings and stuff, and research economy tech speeds up economy tech point gain. Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, we'll do that. Research economy tech, why not? Our spy master, what he can do is scheme, which is uncovering plots against you, discouraging any of your vassals from joining factions against you, and encouraging nobles to join your faction if you are the leader of one. You can build a spy network, which increases the chance of your plots of succeeding, and also gives a chance of spreading vicious rumors about other nobles, or uncovering corruption in your territories. Now, studying technology is what we're going to be sending our spy master to do. It gives him a chance each year of gaining technology points for your county, or for your land. So we're going to send him somewhere that has a pretty high rate of technology, which is, I like to send him to Rome, because they have pretty high technology there as well. Okay, and lastly, there's the court chaplain. We could either have him proselytize, which is converting people to our religion, but that's not necessary, and this is why. Click religion, and zoom out. Catholic. Like, all of this area is Catholic. So there's no reason to proselytize. It's preaching to the choir, literally. So what we're going to do is not research cultural tech, although it's useful. We're going to try to improve relations in our own territory to try to get the bishop there to like us more, or to like the Pope less. Because if we do that, then he'll start paying us taxes rather than to the church. And we want some of that juicy tax revenue. Alright, so Bishop Nuadu is actually our chancellor. He's got a 13 diplomacy. We are going to get him to do this action, fabricate claims. Now, what that means is, in this game, in order to expand your territories as a Catholic ruler, you need a valid casus belli. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's basically a reason or cause for war, okay? Normally, you can't just attack your neighbors because you want their stuff, okay? But if you fabricate a claim on the land, then you can legitimately declare war and try to take it over. That's what fabricating claims does. And in this case, Bishop Nuadu would have a 10.68% per year chance of fabricating a claim, although there's a slight chance the noble will be infuriated because he'll catch him trying to fabricate that claim. And we're going to do that in Kildare, right here. And why that spot? Well, that's because these two territories combined is the Duchy of Meath. And Duchy is like one rank higher than a single county. I like to think of it as a province or a state, whereas a kingdom is more like the whole country. And being a duke means that you can have vassals that are counts. Because right now, we can't like give away other counties that we get as a lowly earl, simply because we're not a duke. If we gave away counties, I mean, we could give them away, but they would no longer be under our rule. They would be independent, they'd be our allies, and they'd be really happy, but it wouldn't be our land, unless we were a duke, in which case, then we can give that land to someone, and they would be our vassal. We would vassalize them. So, if you go to this icon here, de jure duchies, right, and zoom out a bit, you'll see here Meath, and that's these two counties right here. You could even click on, say, Kildare, click on the county flag, and then click de jure, and then the Duchy of Meath flag. It'll highlight the whole thing. In order to create the duchy title, you need 51% or more of the territories, in which case we need both in this case, because it's simply a two-county duchy. So, and it does cost money and piety, I believe, and gives you prestige once you get that. So we're going to try to fabricate a claim on that. The other things your chancellor can do is improve diplomatic relations, try to improve someone's opinion of you in a county, or sow dissent, which is basically trying to get, you know, the vassals and their liege to butt heads and dislike each other. So yeah. Alright, and let's see here. There's also laws which we could change. Feudal levies is how many troops your vassals give you. Your feudal vassals, so like counts and dukes if you're a king. So we don't actually have any feudal vassals yet. City levies is how many troops our cities would give us, or our mayors would give us. City taxation, how much money we get from them. Church levies and taxation. We're going to keep all that, I think, default right now, just because changing anything would upset people. And we want the bishop to start liking us more so we get at least some of his money. Like, getting more of 0, I mean, it's pointless, right? So, we could even decrease... Well, there's no point to sending it to none, because we'd still get 0. So, we'll leave it at minimum. And hopefully our court chaplain improves his opinion of us. And we could appoint a successor to the bishop, which, I mean, there's no real reason for us to do that right now. Is there anything else we want to do before we unpause? Technology. Once we get points, it'll add them up here over time, and to upgrade a specific one, you would click on the button like this. Like this would be wouldn't be grayed out. You could click it and it would give you improvements in certain things. Like in this case, like light infantry attack, defense, and such. We don't need to do that yet. Military. This tells us how many troops we could raise. Right now, we could raise 1,192 out of 1,519. If we wait a little while longer, our levies will reinforce up to this maximum cap here. And our vassals would give us 121 troops, which, you know, isn't too much. And then boats and the levies, or fleet levies, we could get 16 of our own boats and 7 from our vassals. So, but we don't need boats, because they're just for transportation in this game. Okay. Intrigue, factions, aren't any. So, intrigue, what we're going to do, I guess, is we're going to immediately go on a pilgrimage for 4.69 gold. Okay. I shall go on a pilgrimage to seek God's grace at one of the holy places of Christianity. I will start making travel plans, and we'll gain 20 piety. Piety and prestige are basically like your score, because when your character dies, it adds your piety and your prestige together, and that's the score for your character. And the score for all your characters is added up at the end of the game, which is in like 1450 or something like that, and that's your total score. But you can also spend prestige in the game and piety to do certain things, and also like people's opinion of you changes based on how much you have of prestige and piety, for example. So like the church will like you a lot if you have a lot of piety. Your vassals will like you a lot if you have a lot of prestige. I think it's for every 100 prestige you have, everyone likes you by an additional +1 opinion. And that can really add up if you have like a couple thousand, which is quite easy to get over time. Okay. There are a number of different holy places that you could visit on your pilgrimage. All of them are considered most sacred by the Holy Church, but a somewhat closer destination might mean a safer journey. We could either visit a holy site in the west, or go to one of the ancient sites, Jerusalem or Rome. We'll go to one of the ancient sites. And Jerusalem and Rome are the 2 oldest and holiest places of the Catholic Church. So we can either travel to the Holy Land, or go to Rome and see the tombs of the apostles. I think we'll go to the Holy Land. Oh, and to the, we just got a letter here. To the heroic Earl Murchad, blessings upon you and your house. I accept your suggestion that Domhnall and Laura get married. Excellent. Laura and Domhnall have gotten married. We can collect a royal aid duty to pay for the ceremonies. Yes, it's everyone's concern, gain 7 gold. Or no, people respect wealth, gain 50 prestige. 7 gold isn't that much, so we're just gonna say people respect wealth, get 50 prestige. Okay, what's this? My work tasks bore me. Conversations with my courtiers bore me. Everything bores me. I need something new and exciting in my life. Some hunting will cheer me up, or perhaps I should send for a new bird. We'll go hunting, I guess. But we're going on that pilgrimage now, aren't we? Yes. My things are packed, everything's in order, and at the end of my journey, the Holy Land awaits. My journey begins. Dear Father, peace be with you. I have been appointed as your regent. That's our son Domhnall, who's in charge while we're gone. The hunt was a huge disappointment. No game in sight, and my horse threw me off. Forget it. Earl Murchad gets the depressed trait, or I should try falconry instead. I'll get +1 diplomacy for a year and be an aspiring falconer. Let's do that. Deep in the night. Sleeping at the Pilgrim's Inn, you dream a beautiful dream. You're walking through a dense wood filled with the wonderful sounds and smells of nature. Little squirrels run across your path and birds sing in the trees. You keep walking through the wood and then you notice a new and strange but familiar smell. You can't quite put your finger on what it is, though. It's something you should know, something important. Yes, it's fire! You are instantly wide awake. The room is hot, you can hear the sound of crackling flames, and a moment later you also hear people screaming. Indeed, the inn is on fire! Help put it out. 10% chance of gaining the wounded trait, and 30% chance of gaining the brave trait, or save yourself and let the others handle it. Gain Craven. Yeah, we don't want to become Craven. We'll take a risk here and hope to get brave. Let's see what happened. Did we get the brave trait? We didn't, but we also didn't get wounded, or else it would show up here. So, the flood. There have been strong rains in the area lately, and the valley that you need to cross has been transformed into a sizable lake. The water is still rising, so you start to build a large raft in order to cross. When you're almost finished building it, a group of farmers show up and explain that they also need to cross the valley in order to get back to their homes. They bring with them a number of animals that they've rescued from the flood. Okay, so we have 3 options here. I'm not sharing my raft with anyone, man or beast. You will get the arbitrary trait, which isn't good. Bring the farmers with all their animals. We would become charitable, which is actually quite good. Or only let them bring the cats and dogs. It had better not rain anymore. Let's bring the farmers and their animals. So we become charitable. That's this trait here. It gives us +3 diplomacy, +10 church opinion, +10 same trait opinion, and -10 opposite trait opinion. But that actually should make the... Yep, see? The bishop actually prefers us to the pope now. So we're going to be raking in some money here. How much exactly are we getting? 7.3 per year because we're taxing them at 35%. Jerusalem. You finally arrived at Jerusalem. Passing by the Mount of Olives, you enter through the city gate and are immediately overcome by a feeling of having made a truly epic journey. The city is filled with people of all creeds and colors, the air heavy with smells of strange spices and foreign plants. You make your way through the throng of people and animals, excited by the knowledge that you are now close to the Via Dolorosa and the other holy places. You plan to also visit the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem, but first of all, you need to find some place to stay. After all, you wouldn't want to be forced to sleep in a stable, would you? Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. My liege, since I arrived in Dublin, there has never been a shortage of soldiers reinforcing the troops stationed there. Under our guidance, they believe fame and fortune awaits them. Your humble marshal, Mayor Dunade of Dublin. Let us hope so. 50% increased levy reinforcement rate for a year. Excellent. Now, let's just hope we can get a claim on Kildare. Traveling all this way to see the holy places, you had hoped for more than this. It's just lots of people, some churches, and a few bones that really look quite suspicious. Before coming, you had read the exalted stories of other pilgrims, but this just isn't like they described it. That's it? Okay, we become cynical. Well, we lose a little bit of piety every month, gain 2 intrigue, -5 church opinion, that sucks, +10 same trait, and -10 opposite trait opinion. Well, it's unfortunate. You have finally returned from your pilgrimage. It didn't turn out quite as expected, and perhaps you shouldn't have gone there in the first place. But there's no changing it now. At least you're home again and can start forgetting about it. I won't tell my family what really happened out there. We gained the pilgrim trait, which gives us 0.1 piety a month and 5 same faith opinion, and we lose 10 piety because we weren't really into the whole thing, apparently. Okay, the Regency is ended, and we're back in control here. And speed it up a little bit more, because now we're just waiting for either our father to die, which is kind of morbid, or to fabricate a claim on Kildare. We could borrow money, which we don't need, because we're not in any hurry to spend money. And yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, what else is there? Yeah, that's good. Our mayor likes us. We're getting 8.5 gold a month from him. And, you know what? Let's actually increase our city taxation. He's not going to like it, but I don't care. I want more money! Oh, yes. Our younger son's here. Enna, what we're going to do... Ooh, he's actually quite good at stewardship. We're going to actually educate him. We're going to find other people to raise him, depending on what kind of a person we kind of want him to be. Now, Laura, our daughter-in-law, she's great at diplomacy, so that's certainly a possibility. There's no one that's good at stewardship here, like no one that has a stewardship trait, so that's unfortunate. Because how it works is, as a child, your guardian, whoever is designated as your guardian, will raise you kind of in their own mold, and that will determine whether or not you get any of these traits like ambitious, zealous, humble, chaste, anything like that. And once that child hits 16 years of age, they get one of these kind of traits, the ones that are the square icons in different colors. And there's 4 ranks, 1 through 4, 4 being the best, 1 being the worst. And it all depends. Usually you will get the same type of trait, at least the same color, as your mentor. But it's not guaranteed. And if you have a better mentor, there's a better chance of you getting the higher ranking one. Which, for example, this Grey Eminence gives -1 martial, but everything else is great. Like +2 intrigue, +9 diplomacy, +2 learning, and 10% fertility bonus, which is quite awesome. So, I mean, since there is no steward traits here, we're just going to get Laura to raise him. And this, our third son, Don Chad, we're actually going to raise him ourselves. Ooh, wait. Okay, the bishop is his guardian right now. And if you take a ward away from a guardian, they get pissed. At least for a little while. So we don't want to do that. We want his money. Okay. So let's see what else we can do. We could convert to Norwegian. No, thank you. Vikings must have raided our lands previously. Invite holy man to court. Invite noble to court. Present debutante. We don't want to do any of that. We don't need more people in our court right now. We could hold a feast, but not until November. Oh, it is December, but we don't have enough prestige to do so. Holding a feast basically costs money and basically makes your vassals and stuff like you more for a while. Hold a summer fair. Has to be at least May, but before August. Costs money and kind of makes the peasants like you more. Go on a grand hunt can give you like prestige bonuses and stuff. But the month has to be before November, so we can't do that. We could borrow 300 from the Jewish merchants, which we don't need to do. Go into hiding, or send our wife into hiding, or our kids, but we're not the target of any threats right now. Buy indulgence for my sins is basically paying money to the church in order to get more piety. And expel the Jewry. We're not going to be doing that. That would make everyone hate us. We're not kicking the Jewry out of our lands. They're welcome to stay here. We may need to borrow money from them in the future. Okay. Let's unpause. And see what unfolds. Now, our eldest son, does he have any children yet? Is his wife pregnant? Not yet. Get on that, Dominal. I want some grandchildren. How's our brother doing out here? Our nephew here... Oh, actually, our nephew. Well, we'll educate our nephew ourselves. Just to try to raise him to be not so ambitious, because we don't want him killing our sons or anything to try to take their titles. And what's this? I am starting to think Laura might fancy... Wait a minute. Isn't that our son's wife? Make a move. I will go to Laura's chamber. That's kind of creepy. Or she's not my type. Lose 5 prestige. Yeah, we're going to lose the prestige. We're not going to bang our son's wife. Jeez. What does this game think I am? Okay, so now since we're the guardian of our nephew, some things are going to pop up here once in a while. My nephew, dear mate, is turning into an arrogant little braggart. I might have to rein him in a bit. No, he has reason to be proud. He will become proud and we'll lose 5 prestige. That will be cured by the birch. Okay, we could beat the proudness, or the pride out of him. Or tell him pride goeth before the fall. Which is what we're going to do. And hopefully he becomes humble, because we don't want him being proud. Because he's not going to get a title in his lifetime, if I can help it. And he did not get it, but... Ooh, he's content, which is excellent. That means his liege... He'll have a plus 50 opinion of his liege, and that's, you can tell right there. 100 is how much he likes me. He gets extra piety and loses intrigue, so it'll be harder for him to do any kind of plotting. Okay, it is August. We're saving up some money, getting some good monies. We're getting 11.9 a month from, or a year, from our mayor, and 0 from our bishop, because he likes us just as much as he likes the Pope. 100 each. Well, hopefully our court chaplain can make him dislike the Pope a little bit. Telling some dirty rumors or something about him. Okay, peddlers selling all sorts of food, clothing, exotic spices, and luxuries such as glass and jewels filled the town square with their wares and shouts. There are a couple things I need. Lose 10 gold, 1 stewardship, but get 5 general opinion boost for a year. I don't like the merchants, but the wares are fine. 50% of 10 prestige and 50% chance of gaining shy trait, which is not good. Fairs are fun for all, 50% chance of getting kind, 50% chance of getting stressed. Or I think fairs should be banned, minus 10 opinion with the mayor for a year. I think fairs should be banned. Mayor's not going to like that very much, but I could care less. Okay, Earl Murchad is now of legal age. He became a Grey Eminence. See, it was Laura, the our daughter-in-law that we thought fancied us. She was raising him, and that's why he became a Grey Eminence. So he's actually got quite good diplomacy and stewardship. Not amazing, but you know, very nice. And we're going to pause. Our marshal is telling us our levy reinforcement rate is 50% more this year, which is great. We're going to actually appoint a successor to the bishopric, and we're going to make that our son. Because if you have any sons that or any of your sons that are like heirs to bishoprics or are bishops already, are ineligible to inherit any of your titles. So we'll do that, because that will make him less ambitious now to try to take titles from us, or try to kill his brother to become, so that he would become our eldest living son, for example. So that's what we'll do. And our other son here, Donchad, is 13, so we'll raise him a little bit more. Or we're not raising him, are we? It's our bishop. Or actually, it's our courtier. Our bishop isn't raising him anymore for some reason. So we're gonna actually raise him ourselves for at least a couple of years. Might switch it up when he turns 15, so we can have someone else be the one to raise him when he hits 16 to get that trait, but have a better chance of getting that trait anyway. Alright, we've got 90 gold, 74 prestige. We're doing okay. You'll see the world's changed up quite a bit here. Oh, recognizing virtues and talents that others possess is truly a virtue. I am truly blessed by having a marshal that is more formidable warrior than I could ever dream of being. Honor him for his skill, or thank the Blessed Virgin. We'll honor him for his skill. He'll like us more for a while. And let's go back to independent realms here. So France is huge. Oh, there's a couple of duchies here. Savoy and Provence. They must have split from the Holy Roman Empire. Oh! What is this? My liege, the people of Rome have progressed beyond our own technological level. I have managed to study their advancements, and the documents enclosed here should help us reach their level. I hope you will find this to your satisfaction. Your humble spy master, Demay de Athclaith? Something like that. So we get a 1 in 3 chance of getting 50 military technology points in each of the 3 categories. So let's see which one we got. We'll go to technology. You'll notice we got 50 points in culture advances. But in order to increase any of them, it's going to cost a buttload of money, or points, just because we're already quite advanced in those technologies. But it'll add up over time, so that's good. England, Scotland are both formed. Wales isn't fully formed yet. Oh, what's this? My son Don Chad is not exerting himself in his studies. I am starting to despair. He is just dense. What can I do? He would become slothful. Beat him into action. He has a chance of losing that. What we're going to do is talk to him about being diligent. Yes, so he's gained the diligent trait, which is very good. Gives him like +1 to everything, I think. Yeah, +1 to everything, +10 to vassal opinion and same trait opinion, and -10 to the opposite trait opinion. So like the like 7 deadly sins and the virtues are like opposite, and you can never have both. Like you couldn't be both diligent and slothful because they would cancel each other out. So yeah. All right, we're getting some money. We'd get more if the bishop liked us more, but okay. A daughter was born to Domhnall, so we have a granddaughter, and her name is Karek, something like that. She's not a genius, but she doesn't need to be. It's our grandsons that we hope are geniuses, at least our eldest grandson. Kaiser Henrik IV of the Holy Roman Empire has set up Pope Markward as an anti-pope named Pope Stephen X. Okay, interesting. The Pope's not going to like that very much. Okay, levy reinforcement rate boost again. That's good. Now let's just get a claim. How old is dear old dad anyway? He's 74. Looks like the Pope is appointing new cardinals. It doesn't look. I don't think our bishop's going to be appointed. I'm actually not familiar with how that works. Oh, you'll see here, Earl Murchad of Dublin has inherited the county of Lygin from Earl Dearmate of Lygin. Our dad just died. And we've gained his county. This icon popped up here, title loss on succession, and this is because of Gavelkind. We have 2 counties, and we have 2, well, we have 3 sons, but one of them is the successor to the bishopric, so he doesn't count. But still, we have 2 sons, so our counties would be split up upon our death under Gavelkind. So, excuse me, we're going to switch to primogeniture succession. This is going to piss off our 2 youngest sons, and it's going to piss off the bishop and pretty much everyone in our territory for a while, just because it's changing the status quo, you know. People are averse to change. So we're going to change the succession laws. You can only change the succession laws once in your lifetime, by the way. So let's do this. So that title, or that icon disappeared, and there's a new one, though. Unlanded Sons. Our son Domhnall does not have any land of his own, but he is, you know, he's our heir. So it looks bad on us if he doesn't have any land, but, I mean, we can't give him any land because we're not a duke. If we gave him the county of Lygin or the county of Dublin, he would become independent of us because we're not a duke or higher rank. So we don't want to do that quite yet. This is going to give us a little bit of a penalty to our prestige. If you highlight this, it'll say landless sons times 1, negative 0.1 per month. Which, I mean, is not huge, but it's unfortunate. Whoa! Well, that sucked. At age 19, Laura died after a period of illness. Well, that's unfortunate. She was a really good wife. Now, we do have a granddaughter from her, but we're going to need to get our heir, Domhnall, married again, so we can have a son. Now, there's 2 geniuses remaining here that are unmarried. I'd still like to get him married to one of these geniuses. There's either Giselle or Blanca. So Toulouse, I think that's French, right? So she wants to get married. Her liege is the Duke of Toulouse. And yes, King Philippe of France is his liege. So let's arrange a marriage between her and my son. They will agree. My son will lose another 100 prestige, but that's okay. Alright, they got married, and you'll see there's this icon, domain too big. We have more holdings than our stewardship allows, so we will get a slight penalty to our taxation and troop recruitment, and will also cause resentment among our vassals, but that's okay. Bookkeeping is an unappreciated art, and you have taken it upon yourself to master it. You have gained a clearer picture of the realm's finances, and your stewardship has improved as a result. Excellent. I could do this all day. Oh, wow, that actually boosted our stewardship up just enough to make us not have too many counties in our domain. That's excellent. What we're actually going to do now, we did inherit the county of Lygin, and since we did, that also means we inherited our father's entire court. So there's probably people that are better suited to these jobs now. So let's see. Actually, our chancellor is still the best, and that's kind of good because we don't have to kick the bishop out of that role to make him hate us. The marshal is definitely the best that we have. Our steward, our son is not going to like it because we're going to let the bishop of Fierna Mormaidog. I'm terribly sorry. I cannot pronounce this Irish stuff very well. Even though I am like a quarter Irish or something in real life, but never learned how to pronounce that stuff, unfortunately. Well, I guess it's never too late, right? Maybe I'll start learning Irish. Steward. So we're gonna get him. Now he can collect taxes. In Dublin. Our spy master, is there anyone better? No. And learning 9. Learning 9 is better, and that is our brother. He doesn't like us very much. How come? Because... Okay, that's because we inherited our father's title, and he wanted it. But, oh well. Oh! I don't want him to be my spy master. He'll probably kill me. Sorry, Demay. I meant to do that to the other part. To the court chaplain. Now he hates us even more because we made him the spy master. He was all excited because he was going to be able to like plot against us and stuff, but whatever. Improve religious relations with yeah, with the same bishop, because you could lower the bishop's opinion of the Pope. We'll keep the unlanded son for now until we become a duke. We really would like a claim on Kildare. Any day now. Giselle has arrived at her court. Okay, our son's probably happy. Unpause here. Ooh, and we inherited a bunch of money too, that's awesome. Marshal Mayor Dunaid told me about his ideas. I couldn't really understand what he was talking about, but he was adamant in his belief that this would improve the military. Adopt the Marshal's idea. Military technology spread rate 100% bonus for a whole 5 years. Wow. Yes, please. For the cost of 4 gold? Absolutely. Scotland's in the midst of a revolt here, it looks like. Ooh, Norway is occupied by the King of Scotland. Wow. So Scotland's going to take over, it looks like this Caithness, or whatever that's called, that county. And let's click on the King of Scotland if we can. And what's this? Hostile, defending against Scottish revolt, attacking King Harold of, yeah, for that county, and King Malcolm the Cruel, that's him, has a 16% war score. That means he's winning that war. Once the war score reaches 100%, then they win. Or a negative 100%, they lose. I managed to blame the monks at a nearby monastery for one of my more sensuous songs of courtly love. Confess and pray. I would gain 10 piety, lose the lustful trait, and Enna's opinion of Earl Murchad changes by 10 for 5 years, or lie to my confessor. I would gain deceitful, or a chance of deceitful, lose piety. You know what? We'll confess and pray. There's no need for us to be lustful anymore. Like, that time we considered banging our son's wife, that was probably the last straw. We really need to seek help. Which it looks like we did, and we are no longer lustful. So, that'll actually improve the church's opinion of us as well. Oh, this is our nephew. The heirmate, McKenna, is now of legal age, and he became a misguided warrior. Oh, that's because we were raising him. Whoops. He's got horrible stats. He likes us a lot, but... And this is our son, Don Chad. His stats are quite bad, too. We're going to actually make him... We're going to appoint him successor as well. Actually... No, we're going to do that with our nephew. To both of the... Or... To one of... Or... No, that's right. We're going to do our... We're going to make our son the successor because we don't want that unlanded son penalty. We can always make our nephew a bishop later. Okay, excellent. My liege, my work in Kildare seems to have come to fruition. By bribing, cajoling, extorting, threatening, and forging documents, I have managed to fabricate a claim on the county of Kildare presently held by Earl Concobar of Kildare. I leave it up to you whether to use it or not. Your humble chancellor, Bishop Nuwadu of Ardiegle Criost. Use it. So we'll lose 52 gold and 50 prestige, but we'll get a strong claim on the county of Kildare, and this will certainly piss off Earl Concobar, the Earl of Kildare. Don't care. Alright. It is time for war. So, you cannot raise your troops before you declare war. It's just not allowed. So we have to go to Earl of Kildare, click on Conduct Diplomacy, declare war. Why do we want to claim or declare war? To claim Kildare. And this will tell you what happens under each circumstance if we win or lose. So if we win the war, we will gain the county of Kildare, and Earl Concobar will lose 100 prestige. If we make a white peace, or a truce, then I will lose 100 prestige. If we lose, we will actually lose 150 prestige. We'll have to pay 208 gold in reparations to Earl Concobar, and we will lose the claim, so we'll have to fabricate one all over again. So, we'll do this. It says we can call in allies. That is the Petty King of Gwynedd. I don't know how he is our ally. How is he our ally? Murchad, that's me. My brother Enna's father-in-law. Okay, so my brother is married to my courtier, whose parents... Oh, okay, her father is the king of... Or, like, the duke, basically. Duke and petty king is basically the same thing. Of Gwynedd, which is this... this duchy, there, these 3 territories. So he's actually pretty strong. We may not even... Well, we'll call him in. Will he... Yeah, he'll actually come into this war. So we'll do that. And we will raise our troops. 2,326 of them, thanks to our marshal's ability to raise extra troops. We don't really need the vassal troops. There's only 100. And if we hold them for too long raised, then our vassals will start getting mad and lower their opinion of us for keeping their men too long. So let's send these guys down here first. Okay, so this is our ally, King Bledden of Gwynedd. To the Honorable Earl Murchad, blessings upon you and your house. Of course I will honor my obligation and answer your call to war. So, we are going to... Oh, I'm starting to think Eithne might fancy me, my courtier. No, I'm not going to try to have any more bastard children, or... I'm not going to cheat. So we made this army, we combined our troops, and we're going to set leaders of the troops here. Well, our best one is Aid. And, oh, actually, our marshal. If we get him to stop training troops, we can use him in here. And we don't want to lead the troops with a score of 4. That's pretty terrible. We'll probably get killed. And we'll send aid. I don't know why it just won't let us. Can we... Can we, like, auto-balance this? No, we can't. It won't let us balance it any more than that, so... Alright, we will send the troops in. Actually, we're not even going to go to war with the troops yet. We're just going to take this land first. Oh, yeah. Look at those troops. So juicy. 3,000... Where'd they go? They showed up and they left? Are they not our ally any longer? They are. Huh. I have no idea what they just did. We're probably going to be able to siege this faster than they can siege this, just because we have more troops. A son was born to Don Chad MacDominal. My cousin had a kid. So, my second cousin has the same name as me. That's cool. So, we're sieging the territory. Once it gets down to 0, it'll siege. So, it's a victory. So, we've successfully sieged the main holding. Oh, excellent. A son was born to Dominal Mac Murchad, our son, and Giselle, named Murchad. He's not a genius, unfortunately, but he is our son's eldest son now, so he will probably be who we play as in 2 more generations. Defeat. Okay, so they've sieged Dublin, and we are continuing to siege the, what are we sieging right now? The, Siege of Naumbrigid, which is, okay, this bishopric here. Victory and then a defeat, right? Or a victory again? What? Now we're just sieging the city of Kildare. Do they have any allies called into this war? No, they don't. Alright, we're just gonna face them head on here. There we go. Very nice. Annihilated. And he's surrendering. So yeah, we'll get 53 prestige for our war contributions. We're going to gain the territory. And he's going to lose 100 prestige. And his title. So, sucks to be him. We're going to send our troops down because we don't want to hold them longer than necessary. Or else we're paying for no reason. Our domain is too big. We can only have 2 without losing anything. It says here we have an unlanded son still, which we do. And, title can be created. Huh? What's that? Well, the Duchy of Meath I was talking about before. We can create that title now because we own both or 51% or more of the counties within the territory. To do so would cost 186 gold, which we can afford, and would give us 200 prestige. So we've created the petty kingdom of Mead. And we are actually going to give our son this county of Lygan here. We don't want to give him one of these two, or else he will desire the whole duchy because he owns half of it. He'll think that he somehow deserves it. So we'll give him this one here. That gives him a plus 40 opinion bonus with us for like ever, or for a long time at least. And he is now our ally. And I do believe he is our... Still, he's under our rule, right? Yeah, because if we go to diplomatic relations, you'll see these two are in light green. This one is in dark green. That means he owns this land, but only as a vassal of us. So these three territories are now the Duchy of Meath. Even though de jure, these are only the two counties within the Duchy of Meath. But since we're the Duke of Meath, any other single counties that we take over become the duchy, part of the Duchy of Meath, regardless if they are de jure part of it. Okay, so we start. Oh, I don't know why we left our chancellor there, but I actually think this is probably a good place to stop this episode. And hopefully you learned something and enjoyed this episode. And I'll be back soon with episode 2. Stay tuned.